Thank you, Kathy. Thank you, He Tang Sunim. Thank you to the amazing people who have organized this conference, especially the staff in Malaysia. The little bit that I know about what's necessary, it's really quite something, and I'm very grateful that they have been able to help all of us by having this happen. He Tang Sunim talked about this experience where he was sitting in meditation, and I'm sure his mind seemed to him to be completely clear, because that's what happens. You know, we're sitting there, we're on a very long solo retreat or a kilche or something, and we just feel so clear. And here's the sound, but he's saying, I am so clear. I am so clear. My job is to sit here. So he continues sitting here. I mean, we've all done something like this. Usually it doesn't end up in a dead mouse, but we've all done something like this. You know, I am so clear. I am sitting in meditation and samadhi. And meanwhile, this poor mouse is trapped and dies. And, you know, so yeah, so like he pointed out, we have forgotten who we are. We've forgotten who we are. So what I would like to do is go shallowly into the vast collection of the Mahayana Sutras, which for me really helps remind me who I am. And I'm going to actually start with two cases from the Mumonquan, and the first is case 16, where Unlun says, "The world is vast and wide. Why then, at the sound of a bell, do you put on the sevenfold robe?" So we think, oh, this world is vast and wide, and we think it's this world that we know. But it's much more, it's much vaster than that. In the Mumonquan, in the 42nd case, the case where a woman comes out of samadhi and Manjushri can't wake her up, and there's this line down below, past 1,200 million countries, there is Ma Myung Losal. Now that's very interesting. What do you mean down below, past 1,200 million countries? That's quite a lot of countries, all stacked up. You know, what's going on there? And then in the Lankavatara Sutra, and that's the sutra that Bodhidharma brought with him to China, the Lankavatara Sutra, which is this very intellectual, very abstract sutra about mind and all that kind of stuff. The Lankavatara begins with Ravana, who is the 10-headed king of the Yakshas. What are they? Who sees himself, the Buddha, and the sage Mahamati simultaneously appearing on jewel-covered peaks in every direction, along with their cities, groves, and forests. Now that's quite a vision. Imagine, you know, like I'm sitting here and I can only see Kathy and He Tang Sunim on my screen and a couple of black squares of some of the technologists here. And all of a sudden I see them appearing everywhere, simultaneously appearing on jewel-covered peaks in every direction, along with their cities, groves, and forests. That's very interesting. And then in the Avatamsaka Sutra, there's this wonderful two lines. The infinite scenes of the Buddha's miraculous displays appear in all places in a single instance. And there's much, much more. If you read the Mahayana Sutras, there's much, much, much more of this. Almost everywhere, maybe not so much in the Diamond Sutra, but almost everywhere this kind of thing happens, where there are jewels and palaces and many beings. Let's see, the official list of the non-human beings are the Devas, the demigods, the Nagas, the serpent forms, the guardians of the Prajna Paramita Sutras who live underwater, the Yakshas, we've already met one who's a nature spirit, Gandharvas, they're special music spirits, that's nice, Asuras, who are the angry demigods, you know, you see the things in the temples, you know, those are the Asuras, the Garudas, these are birds that eat dragons, which means they're also dragons, the Kimnaras, beautiful voices, the Mahorgas, which is snake forms. That's just the official list. What the Mahayana vision gives you is a universe which is far larger than human beings can possibly comprehend. And you don't have to actually believe in the particulars. You don't have to believe that they're Garudas and Yakshas and Devas. You don't have to believe that at all. I don't. But this vision that says what you think exists is only a very, very small piece of what actually exists. This is very important. This is the base of don't know. We really don't know what's out there. We really have no idea. This Mamyambosal who pops up past 1,200 million countries, we don't know what those countries are. We don't know what beings live out in vast outer space. We think they have to be carbon-based life forms because we're carbon-based life forms. They don't have to be. We have no idea. So this vast, vast vision that tells us you don't know everything. You know very little. This universe is vast and wide, far vaster and far wider than your human mind can comprehend. So that's very important. And you have the Pure Lands. So Amida Buddha is the Buddha of the Western Pure Land. This Pure Land is not west of China. It's not west of India. It's west of this universe. This world is vast and wide. And we have this image of Indra's net, where each being is a jewel, and these jewels all bounce off each other. Just like, I don't know if you can see it, but I have this engagement ring, and as I turn it, the light hits different facets of it, and it changes, you know? And Indra's net, we have all these jewels, and each jewel is reflecting light onto every other jewel. They're all completely connected. You can't move one without moving all of them. Nothing can happen to one without it happening to all of them. And then we have the poem from the Morning Bell Chant, which actually was part of our marriage vows. Vowing openly with all world beings, entering together Buddha's ocean of great vows, continuing forever to save sentient beings, you and I simultaneously attain the way of the Buddha, vowing openly with all world beings, not just the ones we know of, all world beings, entering together Buddha's ocean of great vows, continuing forever, not limited in time and space, to save sentient beings. You and I simultaneously, in an instant, attain the way of the Buddha. And you and I is not a very good translation. It's self-other. So it's not me and my husband when we're getting married. It's self and other together, forever, simultaneously. It's like if you see the fingers of my hand, and they look like separate beings. I'm the little finger. I'm the second finger. I don't like you. Well, I don't like you either. You know? That's how we go around in this world. I don't like you. Okay. Like that. But I don't like you. Okay. You know? But look. They're not separate. So when He Tongsin talked about forgetting who we truly are, that's what we forget. We forget that we're not separate. We're not separate from anything, from anybody. This Buddha nature is throughout the universe. It's through every object. It's in my watch, has Buddha nature. Put it back so I can see what time it is. My water glass has Buddha nature. You have Buddha nature. Every being has Buddha nature. We can't forget that. Each thing is already Buddha. Each thing is not separate, like the fingers of the hand. Not like this, but like this. When we remember this, then get enlightenment and help all beings is absolutely natural, because we are not separate from those beings. How can we not help? It's completely natural. Just like when you have an itch, you scratch it. Well, when someone else has an itch, that's your itch, because we're not separate. And so this natural function arises when we remember who we truly are. And I want to say a little bit about the word enlightenment, because we say get enlightenment. And that's what we say, you know. Language always messes us up, because language has nouns and verbs, and that's already messing things up, because there are no nouns and there are no verbs. There are no objects, and actions are not separate. But okay, so we're already messed up with language. So we have this get enlightenment. There's nothing to get. You already have it, right? Like He Tongson said, we already have it. And this enlightenment is also not a very good translation, although everyone uses it. It's the word it's translating is bodhi, and what that means, or bod, and what that means is awake. It means you awaken to your true nature, which is the nature of this universe. You know, we have these wattos, you know, what is this? What am I? They're not separate. So awaken to your true nature means awaken to the true nature of the universe. So it's not get enlightenment and help all beings. It's wake up and function naturally in an awakened state instead of the usual state of sleep that we're all in. So entering, continuing, forever, simultaneously. Just do it. That's our job. So after I'd written notes for this talk, I ran across a poem on Facebook by an American poet named Robert Kelly. And it has this weird title, Hylonoetic, which I don't know what that means. And it says, everything that is or was, in any sense alive, has consciousness. Everything with consciousness can talk and does talk. And we can learn to hear. Wood or metal, carapace or bone, winged or worm, they all report. Things think. Matter sings. And our job is to sing along with them. And then, early this morning, I got an email from Kathy Park, who'd read something that I'd written in Lion's Roar, basically about what I was just talking about. Actually, it was written in Buddha Dharma and published online in Lion's Roar. And she sent me a poem, which possibly is by Rumi. I have to say a lot of things are credited to Rumi that are not by Rumi, but it's a good poem. And it says, and it sort of encapsulates this talk, it says, love is the whole thing. We are only pieces. So thank you very much.